Wisdom seekers, imagine standing amidst chaos. The world swirls around you, a storm of opinions, accusations, and expectations. Voices demand your attention, pulling you in different directions. Yet in this tempest you remain still, composed, unshaken. People wonder, how does he do it? They don't know that within you lies a fortress, a mind trained not to react, but to respond with intention. Today, we embark on a journey. Not just any journey, but one that has intrigued sages and philosophers for centuries. It is the path of mastering the art of not reacting, a state of calm so profound it turns challenges into opportunities and chaos into clarity. This isn't about suppressing emotions or becoming a stoic statue unmoved by the world. Instead, it's about embodying a deeper power, the ability to navigate life's turbulence with grace, strength, and wisdom. As Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." What if I told you that the key to freedom isn't about controlling the external world, but about mastering the internal one? That the most unshakable strength lies not in domination, but in restraint? For centuries, Stoics have understood that true power comes not from bending the world to your will, but from bending your will to wisdom. In a society obsessed with quick reactions, instant gratification, and endless noise, the ability to remain still is revolutionary. It's a superpower that sets the wise apart from the restless, the deliberate from the distracted. And today, you'll learn how to cultivate it. These aren't just habits. They are rituals of mastery. Practices that will shield you from emotional hijacks, ground you in the present, and transform every challenge into an opportunity for growth. This is more than a lesson. It's a way of life, a philosophy that will change how you see the world, and more importantly, yourself. What follows are 10 habits, practices deeply rooted in Stoicism, modern psychology, and timeless wisdom. These habits are not mere tips, they are tools for transformation. They will take you beyond the superficial and guide you to mastery over your reactions, unlocking a life of freedom, clarity, and immense personal power. Brace yourself, wisdom seekers. This journey will reshape your perspective, challenge your instincts, and elevate your soul. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Every like, subscribe helps us continue our mission of sharing knowledge. Ready to unlock more wisdom? Let's get started. Habit 1. The pause. Mastering the space between stimulus and response. Let us begin with a profound truth. Between what happens to you and how you react lies a space. Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, described this space as the ground where your freedom and power reside. Most people rush through it, leaping from stimulus to reaction in an instant, often regretting the results later. But to master the art of not reacting, you must first master this space. Picture this. Someone insults you. Their words, sharp and cutting, pierce the air. The natural instinct is to fire back, to defend yourself, to retaliate. But in that fleeting moment, if you pause just for a heartbeat, you create a gateway. In that stillness, you can choose. Will you react impulsively, or will you respond with wisdom? The pause is deceptively simple but profoundly transformative. To cultivate it, you must practice being present. This means training yourself to notice the surge of emotions before they take control. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, taught that it's not what happens to you but how you react to it that matters. By pausing, you take ownership of your reaction instead of letting circumstances dictate it. Let's break this down further. The pause isn't merely about inaction, it's about observation. In the moment of pause, ask yourself, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling it? Is my response aligned with my values? These questions pull you out of the emotional spiral and bring you back to a place of clarity. Practice this habit in everyday life. Start with minor irritations, a delayed coffee order, an unexpected traffic jam, or a frustrating email. Each of these moments is an opportunity to pause. Over time, this practice becomes second nature, preparing you for life's larger challenges. Meditation is a powerful tool to strengthen this habit. It trains your mind to recognize thoughts and emotions without becoming entangled in them. When you meditate, you practice pausing repeatedly, allowing thoughts to come and go like passing clouds. This mental discipline transfers seamlessly into real-world situations. The world often confuses reaction with strength, equating impulsive action with decisiveness. But the truth is, restraint is far more powerful. It requires greater self-control to pause than to lash out, greater wisdom to wait than to act in haste. When you master the pause, you begin to reclaim your sovereignty over your mind, becoming the calm eye in the storm of life. Habit 2. Understanding your triggers. Knowing thyself to master thyself. Imagine walking through a forest. Suddenly, you stumble upon a bear. Instinctively, your heart races, your muscles tense, and your mind screams, "Run!" This is a natural response to danger. But now, imagine someone cutting in line at the grocery store. Why does a similar rush of anger course through you? This reaction isn't about the person in front of you. It's about the emotional triggers embedded deep within your mind. To master the art of not reacting, you must understand your triggers. The philosopher Socrates famously advised, "Know thyself." This ancient wisdom is a cornerstone of emotional mastery. Before you can control your reactions, you must first understand what provokes them. Start by identifying patterns. What situations consistently provoke strong emotions in you? Perhaps it's criticism, rejection, or feeling ignored. These patterns are not random. They are rooted in your past, childhood experiences, societal conditioning, or unresolved fears. For example, if you bristle at criticism, it might stem from an early need to seek validation or a fear of inadequacy. Understanding your triggers is not about self-blame, but self-awareness. When you recognize a trigger, you can prepare for it. Instead of being blindsided by emotions, you anticipate them, creating a buffer between the trigger and your response. This is where the teachings of Stoicism shine. The Stoics believed in examining one's thoughts and emotions as an impartial observer. They saw the mind as a garden, and self-awareness as the gardener's tool to prune away unhelpful habits. Journaling is an invaluable practice for this habit. At the end of each day, reflect on moments when you felt reactive. Ask yourself, what triggered this reaction? Why did I feel this way? What belief or fear underlies this emotion? Over time, this practice reveals the roots of your reactions, allowing you to address them with clarity and compassion. Once you understand your triggers, you can reframe them. Suppose criticism triggers anger because it feels like an attack on your worth. Instead of reacting defensively, reframe criticism as feedback for growth. This shift transforms a trigger from a source of distress into a tool for self-improvement. By understanding your triggers, you take the first step toward mastering them. You become less like a puppet controlled by invisible strings and more like the puppeteer, pulling the strings with deliberate intent. Wisdom seekers, remember, to know thyself is to free thyself. Habit 3. Reframing perspective, the lens through which you see the world. What if I told you that every situation in life is neutral, that nothing is inherently good or bad, it is your perception that gives it meaning? This concept, central to Stoicism, is a game-changer in mastering emotional control. Epictetus once said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view they take of them." In essence, it's not what happens to you, but how you interpret it that shapes your reaction. Reframing perspective is the art of choosing a different lens through which to see the world. It's about shifting your mindset to find opportunity in adversity, learning in criticism, and growth in failure. This habit is not about denying reality, but about seeing it more clearly, free from the distortions of fear, ego, or assumptions. Consider this. You're stuck in traffic. You can view it as a frustrating inconvenience, or you can see it as an unexpected opportunity to listen to a podcast or reflect on your day. The event is the same, but the reaction changes entirely depending on your perspective. This simple shift is profound. It moves you from being a victim of circumstance to a master of your experience. To practice reframing, start by questioning your initial interpretation of events. When something upsets you, pause and ask, is my perception accurate? Could there be another way to see this? For instance, if someone snaps at you, your immediate thought might be, they're rude. But what if they're going through a tough time? Reframing allows you to approach situations with empathy and understanding, reducing the likelihood of reactive anger. Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, practiced this habit rigorously. He would remind himself daily that obstacles were opportunities in disguise. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This philosophy, now popularized as the idea of turning obstacles into opportunities, is the cornerstone of reframing. Reframing is not just a mental exercise, it's a discipline. It requires vigilance and practice to catch yourself in moments of negativity and consciously choose a more empowering perspective. Over time, this habit rewires your brain, making positive interpretations your default mode. Wisdom seekers, the power of reframing cannot be overstated. When you master this habit, you gain the ability to remain calm in chaos, find beauty in struggle, and transform challenges into stepping stones for growth. You become not just a participant in life, but an architect of your reality. Habit 4. Emotional detachment, becoming the observer, not the participant. Imagine standing on the bank of a river, watching the water rush by. The current is strong, turbulent, carrying debris and mud. If you step into the river, you'll be swept away. But if you stay on the bank, you remain grounded, unaffected by the chaos of the water. This is the essence of emotional detachment, learning to observe your emotions without being carried away by them. The Stoics emphasized this habit as the cornerstone of equanimity. Marcus Aurelius urged, "You don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you." Emotions, he believed, are like the river, natural, flowing, and impermanent. They are not inherently good or bad. They just are. The problem arises when we identify too strongly with these emotions, letting them define and control us. Emotional detachment doesn't mean suppressing or ignoring your feelings. Instead, it's about recognizing emotions as transient experiences. Anger, sadness, or frustration may arise, but they don't have to consume you. When you detach, you allow emotions to come and go like passing clouds, maintaining your inner calm. To cultivate emotional detachment, practice the following. 1. Name the emotion. When you feel a surge of emotion, pause and name it. Instead of saying, "I am angry," say, "I am experiencing anger." This subtle shift creates distance between you and the emotion, reminding you that you are not your feelings. 2. Practice mindful observation. Picture yourself as a third-party observer of your mind. When emotions arise, observe them with curiosity rather than judgment. Ask, what triggered this emotion? What thoughts are fueling it? This perspective helps you see emotions as fleeting events, not defining truths. 3. Focus on the bigger picture. Ask yourself, will this matter in a week, a month, or a year? This question helps you detach from the immediate intensity of the emotion, shifting your focus to long-term clarity. Epictetus taught that detachment isn't about cold indifference, but about recognizing what lies within your control. Emotions will always arise. They are a natural response to life. But your choice is whether to hold on to them or let them pass. With practice, emotional detachment becomes a shield, protecting your inner peace from the storms of the external world. Habit 5. Practicing silence, the power of saying nothing. There is a profound power in silence. In a world driven by endless chatter and instant responses, the ability to remain silent is a rare skill and a mark of wisdom. The Stoics valued silence as a means to gather thoughts, reflect, and avoid unnecessary conflict. As Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak." When emotions run high, silence can be your greatest ally. Reacting impulsively often leads to regret. Harsh words spoken in anger, hasty decisions made in fear. But when you choose silence, you create a pause that allows reason to guide your response. Consider this. When someone criticizes or insults you, your first instinct might be to defend yourself or retaliate. But what if you said nothing? What if you let their words hang in the air, unacknowledged? In that silence, you assert control. You show that their words have no power over you. As Seneca wisely noted, he who is silent is never caught in lies or foolishness. Silence also fosters self-awareness. In the absence of speech, you are forced to confront your thoughts. This is why moments of silence can feel uncomfortable. They reveal what lies beneath the surface. But this discomfort is valuable. It's a gateway to understanding yourself and mastering your reactions. To practice silence, start small. The next time someone says something provocative, resist the urge to respond immediately. Count to 10. Breathe deeply. Observe how the situation unfolds without your intervention. More often than not, you'll find that silence diffuses tension and creates space for thoughtful dialogue. Silence isn't just about withholding words. It's about cultivating inner stillness. Spend time each day in quiet reflection or meditation. Disconnect from the noise of the world and listen to your inner voice. Over time, this practice strengthens your ability to remain calm and composed in any situation. Wisdom seekers, remember this. Silence is not weakness, it is power. By choosing when and how to speak, you reclaim control over your voice and your mind. You learn to respond, not react. Habit 6. Anchoring yourself in the present moment, letting go of the past and future. The present moment is all we truly have, yet it's the most neglected aspect of our lives. We dwell on the past, replaying old hurts and regrets, or we project into the future, worrying about what might happen. In doing so, we lose the ability to respond to what is happening now. Mastering the art of not reacting begins with anchoring yourself firmly in the present. The Stoics were masters of this practice. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." This wasn't a dismissal of planning or learning from the past, but a reminder that your power lies in this very moment. Reactivity often stems from being mentally elsewhere, responding not to the situation at hand, but to past wounds or imagined fears. To anchor yourself in the present, cultivate mindfulness. This means bringing your full attention to what you're doing, whether it's a conversation, a task, or simply breathing. When your mind begins to wander, gently guide it back to the present. Over time, mindfulness becomes a habit, grounding you in the now. Another powerful technique is focusing on your senses. Pay attention to the sights, sounds, smells, and sensations around you. This sensory awareness pulls you out of your thoughts and into your immediate experience. For example, when you're feeling overwhelmed, pause and notice the feeling of your breath entering and leaving your body. This simple act can calm your mind and bring you back to the present. Letting go of the past and future is not about ignoring them, but about recognizing their limits. The past cannot be changed, and the future is uncertain. What you can control is how you engage with the present. When you focus on what you can do now, you break free from the cycle of reactivity and reclaim your power. Wisdom seekers, anchoring yourself in the present is not a one-time effort, but a lifelong practice. Yet with each moment you spend in the now, you build resilience and clarity. You become less reactive, more intentional, and profoundly connected to the life unfolding before you. Habit 7. Cultivating indifference to what you cannot control. The Stoics believed that the secret to tranquility lies in a single, unshakable principle. Focus only on what you can control and let go of everything else. This is the essence of cultivating indifference, a powerful habit that shields you from unnecessary suffering and keeps your emotions steady, no matter the circumstance. Epictetus famously taught, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." The weather, the opinions of others, the outcomes of your actions, these lie beyond your control. Yet so much of our emotional energy is wasted fretting over them. Cultivating indifference doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop attaching your inner peace to external events. Imagine preparing for a big presentation. You can control your preparation, your delivery, and your effort. But you cannot control how others perceive you or the outcome of the event. Worrying about their reactions only distracts you from doing your best. When you cultivate indifference to what you cannot control, you liberate yourself from anxiety and focus entirely on what matters. To practice this habit, start by identifying what lies within your influence. Make a list. What can I control in this situation? What is beyond my control? This simple exercise clarifies where your energy should go. The next step is acceptance. Remind yourself that no amount of worry or frustration will change what is outside your control. Instead of resisting reality, embrace it. This doesn't mean passivity. It means directing your energy toward what you can change. Marcus Aurelius embodied this habit during his reign as Roman emperor. Facing wars, plagues, and political turmoil, he wrote in his Meditations, "You have to assemble your life yourself, action by action, and be satisfied if each one achieves its goal." His wisdom reminds us that our peace lies in our actions, not the outcomes. Wisdom seekers, when you cultivate indifference to what you cannot control, you gain freedom from the emotional roller coaster of life. You become unshakable, grounded in the knowledge that your efforts matter. Not the results, not the judgments of others, and certainly not the chaos of the world. Habit 8. Embracing patience, the strength to wait without reacting. Patience is a rare virtue in a world that demands instant results. Yet it is also one of the most powerful habits for mastering the art of not reacting. To be patient is to resist the pull of impulsive action, to endure discomfort without losing your composure. As Seneca observed, no man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. Patience is not passivity. It's strength under control. When you're patient, you don't give in to the heat of the moment. Instead, you allow time to bring clarity, wisdom, and perspective. Patience transforms frustration into understanding and obstacles into opportunities. To cultivate patience, begin by reframing delays and challenges. Instead of seeing them as inconveniences, view them as tests of your resilience. For example, when stuck in traffic, remind yourself, this is an opportunity to practice patience, to build my ability to endure discomfort gracefully. Another technique is to focus on your breath. When you feel impatience rising, take slow, deep breaths. This simple act calms your nervous system and creates a pause between impulse and reaction. It allows you to regain control over your emotions and respond with intention. Patience also requires trust. Trust in yourself, in the process, and in the natural flow of life. The Stoics believed that everything unfolds in due time, according to the grand order of the universe. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Time is like a river made up of the events that happen and a violent stream, for as soon as a thing has been seen, it is carried away and another comes in its place." By trusting in the flow of time, you free yourself from the urgency to force outcomes. Embracing patience doesn't mean you abandon effort. It means you let go of the need for immediate gratification, knowing that persistence and time will bear fruit. Wisdom seekers, patience is not just a habit, it's a superpower. It strengthens your ability to remain calm, composed, and deliberate, no matter how long the journey may take. Habit 9, practicing gratitude, finding calm and appreciation. Gratitude may seem like an unlikely habit for mastering the art of not reacting, but its effects are profound. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you shift your mind away from negativity and scarcity. This creates a buffer against reactive emotions like anger, fear, and frustration. Gratitude grounds you in a sense of abundance and peace, making it easier to respond to life's challenges with grace. The Stoics were staunch advocates of gratitude. Seneca wrote, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart." Even in adversity, they found reasons to be thankful. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, expressed gratitude for the people who challenged him, viewing them as teachers of patience and strength. Gratitude works by changing your perspective. When you focus on what you have instead of what you lack, you feel more content and less reactive. For example, if someone cuts you off in traffic, you could react with anger, or you could be grateful that you avoided an accident. Gratitude transforms the way you see the world, making you less likely to react impulsively. To practice this habit, make gratitude a daily ritual. Each morning or evening, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be monumental. Simple joys like a good cup of coffee or a kind word from a stranger are enough. Over time, this practice trains your mind to notice the positive, even in difficult situations. Gratitude is especially powerful in moments of conflict. When someone upsets you, pause and think of something you appreciate about them. This doesn't excuse their behavior, but it softens your reaction and opens the door to understanding. Wisdom seekers, gratitude is a practice of the heart. It reminds you of the beauty that exists even amidst life's storms. When you cultivate gratitude, you create a foundation of inner peace that is impervious to the chaos of the world. In this state of calm appreciation, you become less reactive, more compassionate, and profoundly resilient. Habit 10. Aligning actions with values, living true to yourself. The ultimate habit for mastering the art of not reacting is to align your actions with your values. This habit is the culmination of self-awareness, discipline, and intentionality. When you live in harmony with your principles, external events lose their power to dictate your behavior. Your reactions are no longer knee-jerk responses, but deliberate choices that reflect your integrity. The Stoics held virtue, living in accordance with reason and moral character, as the highest goal. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This simple yet profound statement encapsulates the essence of aligning your actions with your values. It's about being true to yourself, regardless of the chaos around you. Consider this. If someone insults you, your immediate reaction might be to retaliate. But ask yourself, does reacting align with your values? If kindness, patience, and wisdom are important to you, then stooping to anger contradicts who you aspire to be. By staying true to your values, you rise above the situation, maintaining your integrity and inner peace. To cultivate this habit, clarify your values. What principles guide your life? Honesty, courage, compassion, discipline. Whatever they are, write them down. Reflect on these values daily, especially when faced with challenges. When you feel the urge to react impulsively, pause and ask yourself, does this response honor my values? Another powerful tool is visualization. Each morning, visualize yourself encountering potential challenges throughout the day and responding in alignment with your values. This mental rehearsal strengthens your resolve, making it easier to act with intention when the moment arises. Aligning actions with values also requires consistency. It's not enough to act with integrity occasionally, it must become a way of life. This doesn't mean you'll never falter. Perfection is neither possible nor necessary. But each time you choose to align with your values, you reinforce the habit, making it a natural part of who you are. Wisdom seekers, when you live true to your values, you become unshakable. Your actions are no longer dictated by external events or fleeting emotions, but by the deeper compass of your character. This is the essence of mastering the art of not reacting, to respond to life with wisdom, integrity, and purpose. Final thoughts. The path to inner freedom, wisdom seekers. Mastering the art of not reacting is not a single destination, but a lifelong journey. It's a practice that requires patience, discipline, and relentless self-awareness. Yet the rewards are immeasurable. When you learn to control your reactions, you reclaim your power. You become the calm amidst the storm, the steady hand in turbulent seas. Through these 10 habits, you gain mastery over yourself. By pausing, you create space for wisdom. By understanding your triggers, you dismantle your emotional chains. By reframing your perspective, you transform challenges into opportunities. By practicing detachment, you observe without being overwhelmed. By embracing silence, you wield the power of restraint. By anchoring in the present, you let go of regret and worry. By cultivating indifference, you focus on what truly matters. By embracing patience, you endure with grace. By practicing gratitude, you find peace and abundance. By aligning with your values, you live authentically. As you internalize these habits, you will notice profound changes in your life. Challenges that once seemed insurmountable will lose their sting. Conflicts that once stirred anger will now provoke reflection. You will find yourself reacting less and responding more, with intention, compassion, and strength. The Stoics remind us that life is unpredictable. Suffering, loss, and adversity are inevitable. But how you respond to these trials defines your character. As Epictetus said, no man is free who is not master of himself. By mastering the art of not reacting, you achieve this freedom. Freedom from the tyranny of circumstances, freedom from the chaos of emotions, and freedom to live life on your terms. Wisdom seekers, the path before you is challenging, but worth every step. Each habit you adopt brings you closer to a life of tranquility and purpose. Embrace the journey with courage and persistence. And remember, the ultimate power lies not in controlling the world, but in mastering yourself.